Here we are at the Community Grants Workshop for 2026. I am Jennifer Jones, the Director for the Geauga-Trumbull Solid Waste District. Thank you for attending. We are going to be covering the drop-off improvement grants in this hour. It will not take the full hour, I hope. Usually it's a lot faster. Basic housekeeping. Welcome. Today's presentation is being recorded. The slides and a link to the recording will be for the workshop will be available on our website, and you'll be able to watch the recording on our YouTube page. So the link to take you to our YouTube page is on our website, or you can go directly to our YouTube page if you feel like typing all that gobbledygook. By staying here and listening and participating in the chat, you are acknowledging that you know you're being recorded, and you must be okay with it because you stuck around. All right, 2026, our drop-off improvement grants. That's a really long name, so we just call them DIGs. So if you hear me talk about DIGs, that's what I'm talking about, our drop-off improvement grants. If you have a location, a community location, where you collect bottles, cans, jugs, jars for the community, it's open to the public for people to bring in their paper, cardboard, etc. These grants are for you. We know that maintaining those types of sites they can be difficult. They can be at times seasonally, they can be a pain in the butt. I get it. And we want to we want to be partners with you. We know that that's a problem. We need those sites. We know that you want to provide that service for your residents. We want to provide that service for your residents. So we want to work with you to try and make those sites as easy to maintain and manage as possible. Nobody likes getting complaints. So what are we going to go over today? The grants, how to get funded, what kind of projects, how to apply, how to complete the paperwork, how to get your money back, and questions. So, like I said, these are our drop-off sites. This is Troy, I believe. I think that's Troy's site. That's what it looks like. Yeah. So these are our drop-off sites at Troy Township in Geauga County. So if you have one of these sites that's open to the public with all of our little cute stickers by Kimball, we just had them redone last year. This grant is for you. So who is eligible to apply for a DIG? Any local government, school, or other entity that is hosting one of our community recycling drop-off sites. This is not for an entity to start recycling at their own place or it's only for people who already have sites, or this is not a way for someone to say, hey, we want to start one. We want to be a community site. We don't currently have one. We want to be that place where you can bring people, and we'll recycle too, but we want to be open to the public. At this point, we do not have the funds to add any additional sites. Recycling is very expensive. Our bill we have over 40 recycling sites. I believe we have 43. That costs us over $1 million a year. It is a huge financial commitment that we make for those drop-off sites, $1 million. So we do not have the funds to add any additional sites. But if you already have a site, we are happy to help you maintain that site because we want it to be the best starting site it can be. So drop-off improvement grants. They are up to $15,000 that we give you. We'll give you up to $15,000 for whatever you ask for. We ask that you pitch in an additional 10%. So if you ask $15,000 of us, your project would be for $16,500 because you would kick in 10% of $15,000, which is $1,500. If you're asking us for $10,000, you would be kicking in $1,000, so your project would be $11,000. So I can help you do the math, but for every dollar you ask us, we're asking you to kick in 10% of your own money on this project. The grant period, it's the same as the Go Green grants we discussed earlier. The grant starts when the contracts open, which is usually about mid-March. And then it closes. You have until June of the following year. You have over a year. So usually it's about 16 months to complete the project. You have until June of 2027 to complete it. It is a reimbursement grant. You must spend the money first out of your township city coffers, and then provide us paperwork showing what you did, and we will reimburse you the amount of the grant minus your match, that 10% match that we require, which will help you calculate. You only have to pay the 10% of what was actually spent. When you fill out the application, you guesstimate what you're going to spend. But the reimbursement, the amount that you actually have to kick in, the match is mathematically calculated based on the cost of what was actually spent, not what was asked for in the grant. Okay, which I'll talk about in a second. If you're going to get security cameras for your drop-off site, which we love security cameras, we have them about half of the facilities, half of the drop-off sites now. We ask that you talk with your local law enforcement before doing so. Law enforcement is critical. You can put all the cameras up you want, but if you don't have a cop or a sheriff's deputy that runs the plates, it's a little bit pointless. You got to have somebody willing to run the plates for you so you can follow up with people who illegally dump. That way, so without doing that, that's kind of, there's no real purpose in doing that. And you have to put up a sign. Many communities have had improvements done, multiple improvements done over the years, and they just have a standard sign that's up there and says site improvements done by Geauga-Trumbull, partially funded by Geauga-Trumbull Solid Waste. You can reuse the same sign every year. If it starts looking beat up, we just ask that you replace it. But you don't have to get a new sign every year. As long as that sign's still up there somewhere, snap a picture, send it to me, I'm happy. Okay, the kind of projects you could do. So you could get a new concrete pad under the bins, under the dumpsters. We know that the lifting and dropping of those dumpsters can damage asphalt. So we can replace a concrete pad. Surveillance cameras, which I talked about. You can get the parking lot where the bins are located paved. The whole parking lot. You know, if they have to drive around the building to get to the bins at the back of the property, you can get the drive-through part paid. You have to get there. It's okay. We understand. You can pave that part too. You can pave the pull-in part, the approach and the exit. You know, that's all legit eligible funding. If you want to get additional lighting, people like to recycle where they feel safe and comfortable. If you want to put up some lights, which often requires electrical work, you can pay an electrician. You can get some additional lights. If you want to put up some additional signs, or like Bainbridge put up a flashy sign that says, you know, don't put bags. Great. I love that. Please don't put things in bags. And other signage, that's unallowable. If you want to put up fence around the bins, which often curtails when people leave the lids off and the stuff blows out all over the yard, that's really annoying. And it's a lot of time consuming. I know picking up litter is very time consuming and tedious. And if you want to put fencing around the bins to kind of curtail that, fencing is allowed. Also, some people, instead of putting actual fence, they've put tree lines or windbreaks, or used arborvitaes to make a sound barrier for the neighbors because of the gunks from the dropping the bins over and over again. For the neighbors, they hate the noise. You can put in a tree line. That's fine too. All of those are acceptable, eligible projects that make you want to be a good neighbor to your neighbors. So those are good too. Improved drainage. You could dig it up, put in some, maybe you have a water collection problem in certain areas. You want to put in some pipes or some other way of draining. That's fine. If you want to put in gravel, if you already have a gravel lot, you just want to replace the gravel or put in more gravel, fine. A couple of sites now have automated gates, which are pretty awesome. They use them they only are dawn to dusk, or they're only open till 9 p.m. or something like that, which prevents illegal dumping at night. Though most illegal dumping honestly happens during the day. Just so you know, after 5 o'clock, between 5 and 9, when people are leaving work and coming home, they dump. Just so you know, statistically speaking, it's not at midnight, it's in the evening hours. But they could do automatic gates, or you can have automatic gates to close it off on the holidays, because the day after Christmas, when it's a Sunday and the company that comes and empties the bins doesn't work on Sundays, and everyone thinks, I'll just throw it on the ground. You can actually close the site, make the automated gates closed, and then no one can get in there. And they might get angry, but a little bit. But you could actually block off the area if there's a site problem, and not let people in with the automatic gates. That is an absolutely acceptable use. These are, once again, this is not an all-inclusive list. These are just some ideas that other people have had. So what are allowable costs? Purchasing equipment and supplies, rental of equipment, service contracts to pay contract services for a company to come in and do the electrical work, to do the installation, to lay the asphalt or pour the concrete, stuff like that. New signage, and of course, if you put up a sign for us, we will help you pay for the sign to give us recognition. Things we're not allowed to pay for: employee salaries, benefits, or administrative costs. So like, let's say you get gravel. So you order a couple truckloads of gravel and you have your road department guys use a bulldozer or skid steer to spread it. I can pay for the gravel, but I can't pay for your guys' time to spread it. I'm sorry. If you pay a subcontractor to do it, and that's like nonsensical, but if you pay a subcontractor to come in and do it, I can pay them, but I can't pay employees for their time. It's just not something the government really allows us to do. The EPA is that we are regulated by the EPA, and the EPA finds that as a major no-no. So we're not allowed to do that. Food or entertainment expenses. Like if you're putting in the fence and you have a group of volunteers come to help install it and you buy them pizza, I can't reimburse you for the pizza, sorry. And if you're buying land to expand your drop-off site and then you're gonna pave it, I can't buy the land. If you buy the land, and that can't be your match either, by the way. And anytime your employees put into any of the work, that can't be your match either. It has to be actual money spent. But if you buy the land and you want to put asphalt on it, sure, I could do it. Concrete, absolutely, but I can't buy the land. Those are all EPA no-nos. Also, expenses that have happened before the grant is signed. Please do not go out and order things today with the expectation that the grant is going to be approved. Or either way, we're doing it regardless. If you give us the money, great. If you don't, fine. We're doing it anyway. If the purchase order that you have or the invoice is dated before I open my purchase order for the grant, it is no longer an allowable expense. I can't reimburse you. The auditor, it's called a then and now. The auditor hates them and they cause dings on our audits. We're not allowed to do it. And any expenses that are included that are not included in the grant application. So if you say I'm going to buy concrete and then you get lighting, that's an allowable use. Please let me know you're doing that. But if you go and put a porta potty or a bathroom outside your site and you want us to pay for that, I can't do that. I'm trying to think of a good example. There's not a whole lot of examples, but some people have tried to do some interesting things and say, oh, well, you can, it's at the same site, so can't you pay for it? No, I can't do it. Okay, so how do I fill out and do the application online? So you could do it on paper. You could fill out the application on paper. You could fill it out halfway where you type it in on paper and print it out and sign it and either scan it and email it to me or snail mail it to me. Or you could do the full application from start to finish online. So I will show you our website on how to do that. Figure out what I'm doing. Okay, so here is our community grant page on our website. You can get there by going to startrecycling.com and clicking on there's a little picture like this on our front page, or you can go to the other activities and see there's community grants right there, and it will take you to this page. If you page down, slide down on the little slider, you will see, here's our community grant. That's right. There's some options here. So we'll go to our drop-off improvement grants, our dig. So go to the dig tab, it expands like a little accordion. Cool. You can download, here's where you actually download the paper application. You click on that, it will open up the application itself. You can download it, print it off, type in it right there, or handwrite it, whatever. There's also detailed instructions step-by-step for every single question. in the instructions, which you would also download. That's a Word document, or I think I converted it to a PDF. So it's PDF, you could follow along. But we're going to go ahead and apply online. So look at that. And I think it's on both screens. How did that happen so nicely? I don't know. Great. So here's our application. So you will go and type in, most of this is self-explanatory, so we're going to do test. You fill out your name, address. The authorizing official is the person who's legally allowed to sign for it. Now, sometimes it's two different people at a township or a village. Maybe there's a secretary or something that's actually filling out the paperwork, or the zoning guy, or the road department guy who's filling out the application. But the township trustee or the fiscal has to sign it. They're the official signer. So you would put whoever the official signer's name and contact information here. The person who's actually filling out the paperwork and who's going to do the lion's share of the work, that's this reporting person. That's you who are filling it out. Sometimes it's the same person, sometimes it's not. So you will type in name and whatnot here. I think I only made a couple of them. Okay, so we'll type in all this heavy stuff. I'm going to leave it all blank, but you can type it all in. Okay. Where the project is. So where is your recycling site? You could type in the address, or just type in Vienna Township or Russell Township or whoever. And we know where it is. We service them 3 times a week. So we know exactly where you are, but type that in just to fill something in that box. Okay. Then the next question, project number 4, is project narrative. What are you planning on doing? Now it's a small box, pretty self-explanatory. Replacing concrete pad, putting in new asphalt. If you have done a project at that site before, and this is an extension of that project, let's say you paved section A in your parking lot last year, because you could break up, if you have a huge parking lot and you want to pave, you want to do the asphalt in stages, because you only get $15,000. I know how much this stuff costs. And you want to do the left side of the parking lot this year and the right side of the parking lot next year. Just put that in the narrative. We're going to be doing the left side of the parking lot, the south side of the parking lot, the north side of the parking lot this year. And next year we plan to do the south side of the parking lot, whatever, vice versa. Just type that in. And then when I refer back, when you apply next year, I'll refer back to last year's application and see, oh, well, you're doing the other section. Just tell me what you're planning on doing in layman's terms. What are you doing? If you're getting cameras, you have to get a letter from law enforcement stating that they're going to run the plates for you. Like a letter from the sheriff's deputies or your local police chief or somebody on their letterhead, that they're promising that if you guys catch somebody illegally dumping at the site with the cameras that we're helping you pay for, that they promise that they're going to go ahead and run those plates. I can provide you with a sample letter that other communities have received in the past. It's very simple. It just says we're partnering with them with Russell Township. I keep saying Russell because he's sitting here. Johnston. We're partnering with Johnston Township. If they catch anybody on their cameras, we're going to follow up and investigate any illegal dumping plates. Simple. And then you will attach it. There's a button here. You click here and it will open up a window for you to attach a file. If you're doing it on paper, just make a copy of it and send it with it. That's fine too. If you're mailing it to me or dropping it off. Okay, recognition. You have to have a sign on your site. I said earlier, you can reuse the sign year to year. But if you don't currently have a sign, you're going to have to put one up. And this you have to initial that, yes, indeed, you know that. So I'm going to put, I know I need a sign. Yes, got it. All right. Then down here, question number 7 is product services needed. So we're going to do asphalt. Nope. I can't spell. That doesn't look right either. Asphalt, And the vendor, we don't know yet, and description. Sorry. And you're going to do striping. Sure. Left side. You know, you can pay for that too. Because once you asphalt it, you know, it's going to need reline if you put there. That's all I got to do. And if you're doing multiple things, if you're getting a camera and doing gravel and maybe getting some lighting, just list it all. You could do multiple projects to make up $15,000. It doesn't have to just be one thing. You can do lots of little things if you want to do lots of little things. That's fine too. If you want to get, you know, upgrade the electrical and do some drainage and maybe put up a partial fence or plant some trees around one side or something, you know, whatever makes the $15,000 worth. All right. Here's the financial information. There are 7 different kinds of categories. What I want you to do is kind of group all of your expenses that you're planning into categories. I don't want you to list every single little thing you're going to buy and how much you're going to spend on it. I want you to group it in a category and then ballpark what you're going to spend. Follow? I do not need to know it down to the penny. I want you to guesstimate and guesstimate up. You know, because I can't give you, if you only ask for $2,000, and you spend $2,500, I can't give you $2,500. You only ask for $2,000. I would rather you ask for $2,500 and only spend $2,100, and I reimburse you for your portion of that $2,100 versus the other way around where I can only give you that $2,000 because that's all you've asked for. So estimate high, up to $15,000 from us. So let's say you're going to do equipment. So we're going to buy a camera for $2,000, and it automatically figures out what the 10% portion is, which it looks weird, but see how this is 181, 82 is 10% of this. It automatically calculates how that is, how that figures it out. It's nifty. So contract services, we're getting some, that will be all the paying the people to paying the people to install the fencing, paying the people to do whatever. So the rest of the money, $15,000. We're going to do that. So this whole project is $17,000. Because that's all that contract services, because it's all grouped together. Even if you're doing fencing and concrete, that's all contract services. Throw it all together. You don't have to break it down into each little thing you're doing. The total project is $17,000, of which you can only ask for 15 because that's our cap. So the remaining cost is $2,000. If you end up only spending $16,000 or some odd amount like that, we will calculate what your 10% of that $16,000 and change is, and that's what your 10% would be. You will not have to pay $2,000. You will pay your calculated 10% of the bill. We'll help you figure that out. The closeout form actually calculates it for you too, but if you have questions on what that's going to be, ask us. If you've already gotten quotes, number 9, if you've already gotten quotes, you can attach them. You're not required to have quotes already. It's only December. The project's probably not going to happen until next spring. We get it. And none of the quotes will probably be good in the spring anyway. So just ballpark, you know, I talked to a guy, he said it would probably be about $12,000 to do this. So ask for that amount, padding it for next year and inflation and everything else. I would rather, once again, I'd rather you ask for more and not spend it than spend more and me not be able to help you. If you have a quote, attach it. And then you will sign once this is all done. And I'm going to sign with a fake name because I learned in the last session that it was confusing. So I'm going to do Donald Duck. Donald Duck is applying for this today. Then it's going to ask me to sign. So I'm all done. I've asked for all my money. I click to sign. Then I have to type in my email address, and it's going to send me so you have applied, but you have not finished applying yet. It does not send me, I will not get this application until a couple steps go through. So you will type in your email address, yours, here. Because it wants to verify that you are you. So it will say this, and it says, hey, you have one more step to do. You need to verify your email address. So you will go into your email. Okay, so this is my email. Notice I got way too many emails in my life. Okay. You will see, you will get an email from Adobe Sign right here at the top. It says, please confirm your signature on the 2026 dig application. So you have to open that up. It's my little, hello, where's my mouse? There it is. This email opens up. You have to click on this little thing that says confirm my email address. You will click on that. Then it gets sent to me. In previous years, this used to be the end. But due to technology glitches, somehow that application never got to me. Maybe it went to my spam, or maybe it never got sent. I don't know what happened. So I did not include it in all the applications when I presented it to the board for approval, and all the applicants thought everything was good to go and were waiting to hear whether or not they had been approved. And it caused problems because we didn't have money approved. I didn't have new purchase orders open. I didn't have a board meeting to go and get it approved, et cetera, et cetera. So to fix that problem, I now am signing off on every application I receive. So you get this notification that you finished signing, great, and it's been emailed to me for my signature, for their signature, that's mine. When I sign it, it's my acknowledgement that yes, indeed, I got it this year. I got it, and it's in the queue for presentation to the board. So let me show you what my email looks like then. Here we are. Okay, so I get an email that says, because I said my name was Donald Duck. Donald Duck has signed a form, and my signature right below it, I get 2. My signature is required. So if I click on this is my job. I click on this, which opens up in a second, opens up an email for me that says, please click to review and sign, which I have to click and open, which is this. And I have to go, it says test and Donald Duck, you'll see Donald Duck and the asphalt and all that other gobbledygook. Donald Duck signed it, and I click down here and sign it with my signature, Jen Jones. And I click and sign it. When I do that, an email gets sent to you saying, I got it. That way, now you know for a fact that the application got to me and it's in the queue. And now I received it. I know it's going to be presented to the board at the board meeting. Okay? Filled out the application. And switch on. Okay. So, if you have not done this before, or you just have questions about it, and you're not quite sure if you filled it out right, you're welcome to fill out a draft. Fill it out, send it to me. You have until Friday, January 23rd to send me a draft. That gives me a week, gives me a couple days to look it over, make any changes, suggest changes, and send it back to you so that you can fix it, get your signatures, whatever you need, to submit it by the deadline of January 30th. The deadline is Friday, January 30th of 2026. I recommend, or if you don't even want to send a draft, but you have a question about something, not sure if it's eligible, whatever project you're trying to do, call me, email me, ask. I'm happy to answer. Move along. When will funding be decided? So the board of directors, my board of directors, are the 3 job commissioners and 3 trouble commissioners. They're the ones who decide what gets funded and what doesn't. As of our budget planning, we budgeted $100,000 for dig grants. That is not that many, considering you can ask for up to 15,000. Last year, we got over $100,000 in grant requests. The board decided to go ahead and approve them all and went over budget, and we budgeted additional funds to cover those additional grants because they were all worthwhile grants applications. Can't say that they're going to do that this year. I cannot guarantee which ones will be funded, which ones won't. It is a competitive grant. They might limit it to just the $100,000 this year. It's completely up to them. They make those decisions. The board of directors meets at the end of February. They're meeting the last Tuesday in February, which I believe is the 24th. I will follow up with you in the days after the meeting with their decision either way. I will email you and say, hey, you were approved. Or if you were not approved, I will probably call you and say, this is why you were not approved. But if you are approved, you'll get an email saying, congratulations, in all caps. And I'll be in touch as soon as I get the purchase order. So now you've gotten funded. I will email you a contract. It's a boilerplate contract. It's standard. It basically says we're giving you this amount of money. It automatically fills in your name and the amount you're asking for. And you have to get a signature on it from whoever your people are. If you can sign it, great. If not, you have to get it from whoever. So if you have to have a trustee meeting or something to get it signed, then there's a little bit of time. I understand it takes a couple of weeks or whatever to have a trustee meeting to have that signed to get it back to me. Do not buy anything until you get that signed and sent back to me, because I have to open up a purchase order. Once you have those signed, I can open up a purchase order. Then the spending can begin. Do not buy anything before my purchase order is open, because I can't reimburse for that. So please don't do that. Get them back to me as soon as possible. The faster you get those signed contracts back to me, the faster I can get the purchase order opened and the faster you can start your project. You must let me know if you significantly want to change whatever it is you're buying. If the fencing you thought you were going to buy is 10,000 instead of 12, and you want to use the extra 2,000 on something else that's not on your grant application, great. Call me and let me know. Or, email me and say, hey, the quotes came in a lot less than what we thought. Can we get an extra light above over here? Can we put 2,000 towards that? And I'll email you back. Absolutely. And I will update your grant application to cover that. But I have to have it in writing. Just let me know. Everything in writing. So email me. All right. So once the purchase orders are open, I will send out an email and say, ready, set, go. Do your projects. Your purchase order is open. Here's all the stuff. So you go out and complete your project. Buy the things you said you're going to buy. Please do them. Pay for all of the stuff. And then there's a closeout form, which will be on the next screen. You'll complete this one-page closeout form, attach receipts and proof of payment and proof of your recognition sign, wherever that may be, and send it to me. You must get it to me by June 30th of 2027. But if you complete it sooner than that, you are welcome to send it in as soon as that project is done. So if you complete it next summer in 2026, send me the paperwork, we'll reimburse you right away. But you must get it to me by June 2027. Here's the reimbursement paperwork. Super simple. It's basically one page. There's a second page here on the right. If you buy equipment, if you did not buy any equipment, equipment is automatic gate, cameras. I think that's about it that people have bought. If you're doing asphalt or cement or even lighting, I don't really care what light bulbs you're buying. Basically, I like that in case anybody else, like there was a question earlier about what kind of picnic tables do you recommend for the picnic table thing? It's nice to have a list of who's bought what and what they like to use and share that with other communities so that they know what they're looking for. Like the automatic gate, we get lots of questions about the automatic gates. I have 2 vendors who do automatic gates. I can share that with you if you're interested in putting an automatic gate up, if that works at your site, because I have this equipment. But if you did not buy equipment, disregard page 2, only do page 1. Page 1 is super simple. You fill out your name, address, how much you actually spent. If you're doing this, I will be emailing this form to you. And it's a PDF fillable form. It will actually calculate for you what your match is, what your reimbursed. You will type in how much you spent, actual project amount spent, and it will spit out to you expenses eligible for reimbursement. So, and that's the amount you're going to get reimbursed. Then you attach proof of payments and invoices, proof of your recognition, and just, quick blurb. It's been great. Residents love it. any issues you had with it. Like if you bought equipment, we'd love to hear if the equipment's not working for you, or whatever you bought. Oh, we wish we would have done X. That way, the next person who does it can avoid that pitfall. Share your information. Or we were recommended to do this, and we're so glad we went with it this way, because it's worked out so much better than what our idea was to do X. And the vendor said, do Y. And we went with Y, and it was so great. We loved doing that. And that way we could share that with the people who want to do the same projects as you. And it would make their job a little bit easier and have a better site for them. And then any marketing or anything we did to just promote the event. Then sign it, send it to me, and we will reimburse you. Ooh, we're ahead of schedule. Yay. Okay, the grant schedule. So you have to get the draft to me by January 23rd. If you want to send a draft, you're not required to send me a draft. But if you're new and aren't quite sure you're filling it out right, please send it to me by the 23rd. That gives me a couple of days to fix it and send it back to you. The deadline for the grant is January 30th. That's a Friday. People have asked me, is it end of business day or end of day? I've had them submit them at 11:30 at night. You know, that's okay. I'm not honest. I'll be straight up honest. I'm not going to look at them until Monday morning. I put it on a Friday on purpose because Monday morning I'm looking at them. So if you squeak it in on Saturday morning at 6 a.m., I probably have not been at it. But yes, please get it to me by Friday, January 30th at the end of the day. The decisions will be made at the end of February at the Board of Directors meeting. If the Board of Directors meeting gets postponed for some reason, I will let you know. Sometimes that happens. There's scheduling issues. And I will just let you know, hey, they pushed it to next week. And I'll say, hold on, we'll get to you as soon as we can. The grant spending starts as soon as the contract is effective, as I've talked about. And if the closeout is June 30th, 2027, or sooner, if you have the project done sooner. All right, we will start with questions here in the room. Does anyone have, yes, sir, question in the room?
Got two.
Yes.
This grant, how often, is this like a common grant that you guys offer? Is this something that you offer yearly?
Okay, the question was, and I'm speaking to the microphone up here. The question was, is this a common grant that we offer frequently? We offer it every year. It's something we've offered for the since 2021, and we intend to continue offering it as funds are available in the foreseeable future. It was included, we just finished our 5-year plan, and it was included in our 5-year plan for the next 5 years. I can't say that they're going to allot 100,000 every single year, but we're going to, it is our plan to offer this grant for at least 5 more years, every year.
The next question is, are we allowed to use this grant money anywhere that provides access to recycling sites? Is that how that works?
It is, the question was, are we allowed to use this grant access anywhere there's access to recycling sites?
Yeah,
so
provides access to recycling sites, because our recycling sites, there's multiple access points.
Okay, where, like context, where are you from? Vienna. So it's been a while since I've been in Vienna. So there's more than one way to get into that parking lot where your site is, where your bins are. Yes. So if there's an entrance over here and you want to pave that side, and next year you want to pave the other side, yes, that's what we're talking about.
That's what I'm getting at.
Exactly. North side. And if you wanted to, you're not required, but if you wanted to, you know, do a Google Earth picture and attach it to the application and circle the area you're working on this year and call it phase 1. And then next year, circle the other side and say phase 2. That would help us. So when we're comparing, didn't they ask for this last year? You know, go, oh, well, it was last year. And we have several sites that have done that, have done this section, this section, this section, because it's huge and asphalt's really expensive. Any other questions in here?
Okay, what if you're moving your site from one location to another? We had a grant to pay for the pad, the site that's there now. Since then, last year we purchased property about a mile south of there. So that's we're going to move everything down there.
Yes, and I believe, didn't I talk to you about this? Farmington?
Yeah, Farmington, but probably Mike Davis after.
Then I talked to Mike. Yeah. Yes, that's fine. I get it. If it's a better site down the street,
yeah.
And I know we funded some stuff at one place, you're promising to keep that site open and operating. That is part of the, if you read your contract, I should mention this, in the contract, the boilerplate contract, you promise to keep your site open for 3 years. You will see that in there. I'm going to be open and honest. You promise if we give you money, once that project is complete, you promise to keep your site open for 3 additional years. After that, if whatever happens, happens. If you close it, you're welcome to close it. But if we're putting in $15,000 into your site, we're hoping you're at least going to give it a chance to operate. But yes, if you're moving it down the road, that's fine. We get it. You know, that site's bigger, better for you, easier to maintain. We will fund it to move down for the same project. Just explain that in the application. Yes, ma'am.
What if you don't have a north and a south entrance, but you have a north and then a next over north?
Well, just label it however you want to
It's
label.
all a contiguous parking lot. Oh, 15,000. I don't know if it'll even get us to the first entrance,
Yes.
but then
Yeah, Hubbard. So the question was, what if it's not north and south? What if it's kind of like a really big spread out entrance? Then just like I said, take a picture, chunk it up,
okay.
draw a picture. You know, say section 1, section 2, phase 1, phase 2, and spell it out for us. Okay. Any other questions in here? Nope. Okay. Questions in cyberspace. If you can't, you should be unmuted, or you can unmute yourselves at the top, or you could type a question in chat and the chat feature, and I will answer them in chat if somewhere here. If there's any. Make sure, give everyone an opportunity to figure out that mute button. Okay, cool, no questions. So if you think of something later, call me, email me, you know, I try to be available. All right. Just basic information about the district, just some things for you to know. Paper shred days. We're having our annual paper shred days. Tell your residents, advertise it on your billboard signs or whatever, your newsletters. Please let people know that we have our paper shred days coming up. They're open to both counties. So even if you live in Geauga, you can go to the Trumbull and vice versa. At the Geauga facility, it's on April 25th, Saturday. In Trumbull facility, it's May 9th, Saturday. Both collection facilities are open year round. The Geauga facility can accept household hazardous waste all year round, all household hazardous waste. So Trumbull County residents, if they have gasoline or oil or spray paints, oil-based paints, they can take it up. It's a little bit of a drive, it's a half hour from here. Take a day, drive up to Geauga, get rid of it any Friday all year long, 10 to 3, other than after Christmas Day. Please don't see us after Christmas. We won't be there. And the Trumbull facility is open every Wednesday, 10 to 3, but in the winter, we are limited because it's not heated in an older building. We're limited to the household hazardous waste, the HHW. We use a lot of acronyms here. Household hazardous waste is a lot of words. We're limited to the HHW we can take. We don't take anything really flammable, but we can take fluorescent lights, canisters, propane tanks, batteries, stuff like that. And of course, if you may not be aware, we take styrofoam at our facility too. Okay, our 5-year plan. We just this year, we got our 5-year plan ratified. We just received approval by the EPA, final approval by the EPA last week. So that plan goes into effect January of 2026 and is good till 2031. What else? Let's see. Oh, we have new A-frame signs for the drop-off sites. You know, every drop-off site should have these little sandwich board A-frame signs. If yours got lost or stolen or broken, we have new ones. I really like these signs. I know not everybody looks at signs. No one looks at signs. I get it. But we made these brand new, very bright signs, and we're hoping that you will help us we will give you a set of one of each of these, and that perhaps your staff could rotate them through like every couple months, put a new sign, because if it sits there too long, people ignore it. So if you rotate them through on a regular basis, people tend to look at it, especially like this guy right here with the hearts, the third one over. It's this, please don't put things on the ground over the holidays. That one's coming up. But there's one about the cardboard. You don't want to put cardboard. Break down your boxes. Don't put things in bags. And we did a study to see what we call contamination was in the bins. Like what stuff are people putting in there most often that is not recyclable? It's what we consider bad plastics. So like strawberry containers or tubs or takeout food containers that are plastic that we can't do anything with. It has to be a bottle, jug, or jar. If it's not the shape of a bottle, jug, or jar, we can't take it if it's plastic. So that's just an educational piece paid for by the Ohio EPA to let people know that those are the only types of plastics we can accept. We actually did better. Some of the sites did better. We used to have a 17% contamination rate. About 17% of what goes in the bins is not recyclable. We do recycle the other 83%. There's a myth going out there that if it's got trash in it, everything gets thrown away. No. We recycled over 8 million pounds of recyclables last year, 8 million. So yes, we are recycling things. Would we love to see that contamination rate down? Yes. So if you could help us by, switching up these signs and trying to get some of these things down, educating your residents as best as you can, we can come and talk. I do educational programs to adult groups, senior centers, things like that. We also go to the schools and educate the kids too, but we are happy we wanted to get it out so we can get our contamination down, which saves us money. The more contamination we have, the bigger our bill is. Right now, our bill is over $1 million, a little over $1 million. If we can get that bill down, that would be great. Okay. Oh, for the signs. If you're here, we have signs. You can take them with you. Thank you. If you email me or can have someone swing by, or if you can pick it up at one of our collections, like the Geauga people, we can set some sets of signs up at our Geauga facility. If you could have a road department guy run through and pick them up one day, that would be great. Just let us know you're coming. We'll make sure we have a set there. And if you need a new A-frame, we will have an A-frame ready for you to pick up and take with you as well. We have extra A-frame signs. Thank you. Oh, contact information. So there's my information, Andrew's contact information. If you have any questions, he's our operations person for the for the collection facilities. And Lisa is the finance aficionado. So she's the person who knows what bills are paid and what not, and when checks were sent and etc. So she's the all-knowing one with that. So call her with payment questions. So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Thank you for attending. Any questions, please let me know. And about early next week, the video for this and the slides will be up on our website and a link to our YouTube channel